No one in the Galactic Survey Union argued when Earth was placed in the soft world category. It looked gentle from space. Blue oceans, green land. Thick atmosphere rich with oxygen. To most species, that meant danger only in storms, not in strength. 2. Humans. It was simply home. The Cavrix delegation arrived with confidence. Their species came from low-gravity moons and artificial habitats. Tall, thin bodies. Long limbs built for thinking, not lifting. Their minds were sharp, their technology advanced, and their ships elegant. Physical labor was beneath them. Machines existed for that ambassador. Tralvos watched Earth spin slowly beneath the shuttle. So this is the human cradle, he said. Calmly, a pleasant place. His aide adjusted a tablet. Gravity listed as moderate. Survivable with basic dampeners. Trell nodded. As expected. None of them noticed the warnings scrolling quietly across the shuttle's display. The moment the shuttle entered Earth's atmosphere, the tone changed. Not dramatically, not loudly, just heavy. The ship groaned. Gravity increasing. The system announced. Trell frowned. Increased dampening. Already at recommended levels. The pilot replied. Another warning blinked. When the landing gear touched the ground, several Cavrix gasped. Triel felt it first in his chest. Breathing required. Effort standing was suddenly worked out as the hatch opened. Warm air rushed in. Human soldiers waited outside, not in exosuits, not in powered armor. Just uniforms. Calm faces. One human officer stepped forward. Welcome to Earth, she said. Take your time. Trell took one. Stepped down the ramp. His knees shook. He caught himself on the railing. Mandibles clicking in surprise. This gravity, he began. The human officer gently reached out and steadied him with one hand. One hand. Inside the facility, Cavrix delegates sat carefully, adjusting to the pull of the planet. Humans walked past them carrying crates, equipment, tools, no visible struggle, no complaint. Trell watched a human technician lift a sealed container marked industrial materials and place it on a shelf above her head. The data flashed in his mind. That weight exceeded Cavrix's safe lift limits. Buy a lot disc. Must be assisted, Trell said quietly. The human technician overheard and smiled. Nope, she replied. Just a box. Later that day, the humans offered a tour. A gesture of goodwill and curiosity. They entered the physical standards. Hall. It was not meant as a challenge. It was routine. Trill watched as a human jogged past them on a track, breathing evenly. Another human carried a fallen crate with ease. A third laughed while doing repetitions with a weighted bar. This is training? Trell asked. Yes, the human guide said. We start young. Trell's crest feathers twitched. You do this regularly? The guide shrugged. Every day. Sensors began feeding data into Cavrix systems. Bone density readings, muscle fiber compression, cardiovascular output. The numbers were wrong. Impossible. Trell stared at the screen. These measurements exceed combat species, he said slowly. The guide nodded. Earth makes it hard to be weak. That night, Trell recorded a private log. Humanity does not rely on machines for strength. Their planet demands it from birth. We mistook calm for softness. He paused, feeling Earth's pull even as he sat. And we have only just arrived. Outside, gravity pressed down. Uncaring, constant. The same force that had shaped humans for millions of years. And tomorrow, the Cavrix would be asked to stand in it. By the second day on Earth, the Cavrix delegation stopped pretending. Gravity was no longer an inconvenience, it was an enemy. Ambassador Trill Voss stood in the observation chamber, both lower limbs planted carefully apart. He had learned that if he shifted his weight too fast, his joints screamed in protest. Around him, other Cavrix sat or leaned against support rails. No one spoke, even breathing felt loud. A human medical officer moved through the room with a tablet in hand. "Your vitals are stable," she said calmly. "But we recommend short exposure periods today." Trell clicked his mandibles in frustration. "We are representatives of an interstellar union," he replied. "We cannot conduct diplomacy from chairs." The human met his gaze, not unkind, but firm. "Earth doesn't care who you are," she said. "It treats everyone the same." Later that morning, the humans proposed something simple. A gravity acclimation test. Nothing competitive. Nothing humiliating, just walking. The testing hall was wide and bright, a straight path marked across the floor, at the far end. A green light, human observers stood casually along the walls, arms folded, cups of coffee in hand. That detail did not go unnoticed. Terrell stepped forward first. He would not let his people appear weak. The moment his full weight shifted onto Earth's floor, pain rippled up his limbs. His muscles trembled. Not from exhaustion, from resistance. He took one step. Then, another. Each movement felt like pushing against invisible stone. His breathing grew shallow. The room felt smaller. Behind him, a Cavrix engineer collapsed to one knee. Another sat down hard. Unable to continue, Trell kept going. Pride dragged him forward when his body refused. Halfway across the room, his vision blurred. The floor felt. "Farther away, Ambassador," a human voice called. "You can stop." Trell ignored it. The green light was close now, so close, his legs failed. He did not fall. A human caught him, effortlessly. Trell's mind reeled, as he was guided to a seat. "You almost made it," the human said gently. "That's impressive for first exposure." Trell stared at her. "You did not even strain?" he said. She shrugged. "I skipped leg day yesterday." Data flooded the Cavrix tablets. Muscle fatigue thresholds reached in seconds. Bone stress approaching. Fracture levels. Cardiovascular overload at standard gravity. Trell closed the display. He did not need numbers anymore. Later, the humans demonstrated the same test. They walked it, jogged it. One human did it, carrying additional weight for realism. Another did it barefoot. "This is not enhancement," Trell said quietly to the human commander beside him. "You are not augmented." "No," the commander replied. "We're adapted." That word echoed in Trell's thoughts. Adapted. During a private council session that night, the Cavrix debated fiercely. "This planet is deceptive," one delegate hissed. "We underestimated environmental pressure," said another. "We relied too much on technology." A third admits. Trell listened, then spoke. "Humans are not strong because they train," he said. "They train because their world demands it." Silence followed. Outside the window, Earth turned slowly. Clouds moved. Oceans shifted. Gravity never slept. A human training officer approached the delegation the next day with an unexpected offer. "If you want," she said, "we can help. You adapt." Trell looked at his people. Some fearful, some ashamed, some curious. "What would that involve?" he asked. The officer smiled. "Hard work." That night, Trell recorded another log. Earth is not soft. It is patient. It presses on you every second. Until you become something that can endure. He paused. And tomorrow, we begin. The training began before sunrise, not because the humans demanded it, because Earth did. Ambassador Trell Voss stood on an open platform overlooking a wide stretch of land. The sky above was pale blue, streaked with early light. A breeze moved across. The ground, cool and steady, gravity, pressed down as always. Uncaring, unchanging, double quotes, this is optional. The human training commander said calmly. You can stop at any time. Trell straightened as best he could. If we stop, he replied, we learn nothing. The Cavrix wore reinforced suit-like exoskeletons meant to reduce strain. Even so, every movement felt heavy. The first task looked simple. Stand, just stand. Seconds passed. Then minutes. Muscles burned. Joints ached. Breathing became work. One Cavrix scientist dropped to the ground. Chest heaving, another followed. No alarms sounded. No mockery came. The humans simply waited. Trell clenched his mandibles. Humans stood nearby, relaxed. Some stretched. Some drank water. None looked impressed. None looked concerned. Why? One Cavrix finally asked through labored breaths. Why does your world demand this? A human answered without hesitation. Because it doesn't forgive. Weakness, she said. And it doesn't reward excuses. The next test involved walking across uneven ground. No tools, no supports, just forward motion. Trell took 3 steps before stumbling. A human instinctively reached out. Then stopped. You've got this, he said. Trell did not. He fell. Hard. The ground struck him like punishment. For a moment, he did not move. Pain spread through his limbs sharp. Clear, Hal, Ambassador. A Cavrix voice cried out. Trell pushed himself up. Slowly, deliberately. Double quotes. No, he said. Let me rise. He did, shaking. But standing. Humans nodded. Not in pity, in recognition. By midday, exhaustion had stripped away pride. By afternoon, it stripped away denial. The Cavrix were weak, not mentally, not intellectually, physically, painfully, during a short rest period. Trell watched a group of human youths run past the training grounds, laughing, competing, top one. Tripped, got up, top kept running. You train from childhood, Trell observed. The human commander shrugged. We play, she said. The strength comes later. That night, medical scans told a harsh story. Microfractures forming in Cavrix bone structures. Muscle fiber tearing, then rebuilding. Neural stress adapting under load. The data frightened their scientists and fascinated them. This process is dangerous, a Cavrix medic warned. Yes, Trell replied. But so is ignorance. The next morning, they trained again. Shorter sessions, more rest, better technique, still brutal, still humbling. One Cavrix engineer failed to lift a simple supply crate. A human lifted it with one arm, then handed it back gently. Tomorrow, the human said. You'll do better. Something shifted. The laughter stopped. Not from the humans. From the Cavrix. They were no longer mocking. They were studying, learning, enduring. Late that evening, Trell stood alone beneath Earth's open sky. Stars glimmered faintly above the atmosphere. He felt heavy, but alive. More alive than ever before. He recorded another log. Humans do not fight gravity. They cooperate with it. They allow it to shape them, break them, rebuild them. A pause. We called them soft because they did not look armored. We were wrong. They wear their world as armor. Behind him. The sounds of training continued. Footsteps, breathing, effort, Earth did not cheer them on. Earth did not slow down. It simply waited and tested whoever dared to stay. The backlash did not come from Earth, it came from the stars. Kavrik's news feeds exploded with images from the training grounds. Short clips spread across interstellar networks, aliens struggling to stand, collapsing under gravity, humans walking past without effort. The headlines were brutal. Kavrik's humiliated by primitive world. Earth exposes biological weakness. Diplomatic failure on a death planet. Ambassador Trell Voss watched the broadcasts in silence. The comments were worse than the footage. Mockery, anger, fear. Some called for immediate withdrawal. Others demanded sanctions against Earth for biological negligence. This is becoming a political disaster, one Kavrik's counselor said during an emergency call. Our people are being shown as fragile. Trell did not raise his voice. They are being shown as honest, he replied. On Earth, the response was quiet human governance. Did not defend themselves? Human media barely reacted. No speeches, no apologies. No explanations, just silence. That silence made the galaxy uneasy. A joint galactic committee demanded answers. How long have humans known their planet causes physiological harm? Why were safeguards not enforced? Is Earth intentionally dangerous? The human representative answered calmly. Earth has always been dangerous, she said. To us too. Training continued, despite pressure, despite protests, despite calls to evacuate. Half, the Kavrik's delegation, stayed. Half, left. Those who stayed, changed. One Kavrik's collapsed during training on the 5th day. This time, a human did not rush forward. Neither. Trell, the alien, rose on his own. Slow, painful, successful, medical. Reports began shifting tone. Bone density, improving. Muscle response strengthening. Cardiovascular tolerance, increasing. Still weak by human standards, but no longer fragile. A human scientist observed quietly. Your bodies learn fast, she said. You just never gave them a reason before. That statement echoed across the delegation. During a tense diplomatic summit, a Kavriksia senator accused Earth directly. You built your civilization on suffering, he said. The human commander responded evenly. No, she said. We built it on adaptation. The room fell silent. Trell requested permission to speak when granted. He stood without support. Without shaking, we believed comfort was progress, Trell said. Humans believed survival was. He paused, letting the gravity press into him. They are not cruel, he continued. They are conditioned. Outside the chamber, humans trained, worked, lived, that did not wait for approval. They never had. That night, a Kavrik's child watched the training footage again. Not with fear, with curiosity. How do they move like that? The child asked. No one answered. The galaxy had labeled Earth soft, then weak now. Now, it was unsure. Ambassador Trill made one final log entry that day. Strength is not how much you lift. It is how much pressure you survive. Earth does not threaten. It tests us. Stars watched from afar. A truth became harder to ignore. Humans were not dangerous because they wanted to be. They were dangerous because they could endure what others never tried. The galaxy decided to test Earth. Not with words. With force. A joint galactic defense review arrived in orbit 3 days later. Military observers from 6 species watched silently as Earth's gravity data scrolled across their screens. "This is not a training world," one general said. "It is a natural weapon." Ambassador Trell Voss stood beside the human delegation, feeling the weight in his bones even now. "You still think we are hiding something," he said quietly. The general did not deny it. The galaxy demanded a demonstration. A fair one, a controlled one. They called it the Standardized Gravity Trial. Same tasks. Same duration. Same gravity. No weapons. No technology. Just bodies. The arena was built on Earth's surface. Open air, natural ground. No safety nets. First came the visiting military units. Armored exosuits hummed. Gravity dampeners glowed. Biosupport systems adjusted every breath. Even then, most could not complete the first phase. Knees bent, spines bowed, movements slowed. A few collapsed outright. Observers murmured. "This planet is hostile," one said. "It should be classified," said another. Then it was the humans' turn. They wore no exosuits, no dampeners, just standard training gear. A human soldier stepped forward. Then another. Then dozens. They ran. They carried weight. They climbed. They fell and stood again. One alien officer whispered, "They are enhanced." Trell shook his head. "No," he said. "They are native." The trial escalated. Gravity increased slightly. Not much, just enough. Several alien systems shut down automatically to prevent injury. Humans adjusted their breathing, changed posture, kept moving. Finally, a human commander stepped into the center of the arena. "We don't train to look strong," she said calmly. "We train so our world doesn't kill us." She looked at the alien observers. "This isn't our limit." Silence followed. Heavy, uncomfortable. Then came the revelation. A human scientist activated a planetary model. "This," she said, "is Earth during early human evolution. Volcanoes, storms, predators, unstable climates. Higher radiation. Less food, more danger." "You survived this?" an alien asked. The scientist nodded. "Barely," she said. "For thousands of generations." Another image appeared. Human children playing. Running. Climbing. Falling. Standing back up. "We don't call this training," the scientists continued. "We call it growing up." That broke something. Not technology. Not treaties. Belief. The galaxy realized the truth too late. Humans were not warriors by choice. They were survivors by design. Military observers withdrew quietly. No accusations. No demands. Just recalculations. Later, in private, a Cavrix officer asked Trell a simple question. "If humans chose to fight us, could we stop them?" Trell did not answer immediately. He remembered the first day. Standing. Walking. Falling. Rising. "No," he said at last. "Not here." That night, Earth's gravity pulled at Trell's body, like always. But it no longer felt hostile. It felt honest. He recorded another log. "We thought technology made us safe. Earth taught us safety is an illusion. Endurance is the only shield that matters." Above the planet, ships drifted farther away than before. Not out of fear, out of respect. The galaxy had tested Earth. Earth had not reacted. It simply endured. The galaxy did not declare Earth dangerous. It declared Earth different, and that changed everything. Months after the gravity trials, new protocols spread across interstellar space. Visiting ships recalibrated. Colonization models were rewritten. Earth's standard gravity became a warning label. Not forbidden, just respected. Ambassador Trell Voss walked through a human city alone for the first time. No exosuit, no support frame. Just practiced balance and hard-earned strength. Every step still hurt. But he walked anyway. People passed him without staring. Some nodded, some smiled. No one treated him like a miracle. And somehow, that felt right. At a public forum later that day, a galactic delegate asked a question everyone feared. If humans spread beyond Earth, will you force others to endure what you did? The human representative paused. Then answered simply, "No," she said. "We won't force anyone." A murmur rippled through the chamber. "But," she continued, "we won't weaken ourselves either." Silence followed. The honest kind. Trell understood then. Earth had never tried to impress the galaxy. It never tried to dominate. It simply refused to become less than it was. In the weeks that followed, something unexpected happened. Alien species asked for training programs. Not weapons, not armor. Training. Human instructors traveled to the stars. Not as conquerors. Not as soldiers, as teachers. Trell stood once more on Earth's soil before departing. Grass bent under his claws. The wind moved through leaves above him. Gravity pressed down. Relentless. Faithful. He knelt. Not from weakness, from respect. His final log entry was short. Humans are not strong because they live on Earth. They are strong because Earth never let them be weak. They carry their world with them, wherever they go. As his ship lifted away, Trell looked down through the viewport. At oceans, at mountains, at storms forming without apology. Earth turned slowly beneath him. Still heavy? Still dangerous? Still beautiful. And somewhere below, a child ran. Fell. Stood back up. Unaware that the galaxy was watching. Because that was the secret no scanner ever detected. Not muscle. Not bone. Not gravity tolerance. Humans endured. And they always would.